I'm Duodu, the team leader for Unified Communication and Collaboration. And rightly, as my other colleague mentioned, after finding the right solution and getting the right fit, the next step is designing an effective solution. The design of the solution is as important as its implementation. So there are things that you would have to consider when designing the solution. First of all, you would have to understand the solution that you're going to design. When you understand the problem, you eliminate most of the gaps or lapses during the design of the solution. And information is very key in this aspect of trying to create the solution to fit for the or serve that purpose for the customer. And also, you'd have to look at the cost effectiveness. So as engineers and developers, we sometimes do not think about the cost as to our solutions and the services that we provide. But in as much as we want to be cost effective, we should also think about efficiency regardless of the cost. Because when the solution is effective and it's efficient, it serves the right purpose for which it is intended for. Also, we have to make sure that the solution is easy to implement. The design should be easy to deploy or to be easy to be implemented. It should be designed such that the implementers execute it successfully without a hitch. Also, the design should be fit for purpose. There's a saying which goes that a great designer once said, "Great design is not just a solution, it is the elimination of the problem." So basically, when you eliminate the problem, it gives you the opportunity to achieve your goal at the end of the day. For example, when you're designing a solution for a video conference solution, and you kind of do your survey, do your assessment and all that, you realize that there are certain positions where you want to fit the microphones, the cameras and all that. You would have to ascertain carefully and make sure that the solution that you are going to deploy, the solution that you are going to give out, serves the purpose and fits the purpose for which it is intended for. There are some things that you would have to get right during the design stage, and the solution should be able to be used by the clients. So a typical example is designing a solution for a call center. And with that, the ideal setup is for you as a designer not to use hard phones, because when you use hard phones, the agents that are going to interact with the customers might find it difficult when they want to retrieve certain information from their PCs. So, in effect, if you want to make it effectively for the agent to seamlessly communicate with their clients, you would have to introduce something. You have to introduce a soft phone. With a soft phone, they can easily use their headsets, communicate, and retrieve files easily. Another aspect is when you deploy a call center solution, you would have to look at the cloud aspect. When I talk about cloud aspect, I mean trying to get a channel that is bulky, a channel that can accommodate a lot of traffic. Traffic in the sense that when people are calling the line is not going to be busy. So in that sense, the client can be able to reach out to more agents. But then if you have to use an analog solution or PSTN line, it's going to be limited for just a few calls. So when you design the solution, you have to make sure that you get some of these things right. The solution must eliminate the problem. So basically, whatever solution that you are trying to design should eliminate the problem. The headache of the customer should be alleviated. So in designing the solution, make sure that you put all of these things in mind, you put all those thoughts on paper, and you design the right solution that fits for the customer. So the design is not when the design is not fit for purpose, there will be issues during and after implementation. What could possibly go wrong? choosing a product or a device. So when the product or the device is not fit for purpose, for example, let's say you're going to deploy IP-enabled devices such as IP phones, digital camera, IP cameras, you would have to make sure that there won't be any point of failures. There are solutions whereby you see POE injectors being used in between such solutions or such design. Basically, or at the end of the day, it's going to create a lot of issues, and there will be catastrophic happening along the way. So you have to make sure that in choosing the product or the device that you're going to use for the solution or the project, you have to make sure you choose the right ones. Also, another example is using the wrong cable selection for outdoor UTP cables when you want to deploy outdoor solution. So in deploying outdoor solution, you would have to make sure that the cable that you're going to select or the cable that you're going to use, it's going to last. It's not something that is going to be affected by the temperature or the surroundings of the facility. You have to make sure that you choose the right material for the right job. So there are two key takeaways from designing a comprehensive solution. During the project, you make sure that all the major stakeholders will be actively involved in the design of the solution. Without that, if you have to design something and you don't share with the stakeholders, you would have to change certain aspects of the design midway or halfway through the project, which is going to drag or come about the delays of the project. It's going to drag it, and there are going to be delays in delivering or executing the project. Also, as rightly mentioned by my other colleague Salome, there should be a comprehensive site assessment, such as ascertaining the issues on site. When you go for site meetings, when you go for site service, you make sure that all the information or relevant information needed would have to be carried out. You'd have to document everything so that when you are designing the solution, you make sure that you have all the right information needed for the solution. So in conclusion, it is important that the design is well thought through. If it is not well thought through, there are going to be gaps, there are going to be lapses, there are going to be errors, there are going to be failures. So in designing the solution, it has to be well thought through so that you'll be able to implement the solution successfully. When the design is not right, the goal is not achieved. So basically, when you design the solution, you are going to achieve the objective, set objective. The client is going to be happy. You are going to impress the customer. You are going to impress the client. So in designing it, you have to make sure that you go through all the rudiments and make sure that you achieve it successfully. When the design is achieved, implementing is going to be much easier. My other colleague will talk about implementation. Thank you.
Thank you, George. My name is Emmanuel. I'm taking over here to talk about project planning and implementation. As technical people, it's very easy, or there's a tendency for us to focus on what needs to be done, focus on going to fix equipment and not really concentrate on planning like other circles do. But I learned painfully earlier on in my career that planning, victory loves preparation, and an essential part of preparation is planning. So today, planning helps you to avoid delays and waste of resources. If you fail to plan, as the popular saying says, you plan to fail. So I'm going to talk about a few things you should consider while planning, and then I'll also tackle actual implementation. So to ensure that the deployment of your IT infrastructure goes well, it is tempting to think, oh, sales and marketing went to do an assessment before the sale, or your colleague George went and validated the solution design. But upon implementation, it is important to still go to site and ascertain what has changed on site. Has the requirements changed? There are instances where we've been told sales and marketing is in this office. By the time you go, the place has been changed to a conference room. So all these things require that upon the order, you go to site, ascertain the actuals on the ground, have all the dependencies been met, where you ask them to put tiles, are there several rooms being tiled, is there supposed to be a raised floor, has it been done, is there supposed to be conduit pipes, have all those things been put in place. All these things inform your planning. It makes you know that you are not carrying things to go and wait. There are times where projects are outside Accra. You can't fly or sit in a car all the way just to realize something was done wrong. So it's important to go and look at the sites, have a visual view of the sites, and know what is actually on the ground and feed into your drafted plan. Then we also come to stakeholder engagements. Every project involves people, and it's important that you take the people into account. So there are three main stakeholders that I'll touch on in my presentation. The first one is end users, and in my opinion and from experience, I can tell you these are the most essential group when it comes to stakeholders. Why? Because they are going to use the solution. There are instances where sales and marketing have a meeting, the customer has a meeting. You meet the MD, you are deploying a call center, you meet the MD, you meet the customer experience manager, but you've not met the agents, you've not taken their cares into account. And that's dangerous from my experience. It's important to note who is going to use the solution, who is going to maintain it, who is even going to be the administrator of it. It's important to engage all these people. If possible, do interviews. There are times where I've gone with my team, I'll tell them, let's go and observe even how the operations of the institutions run. This informs you properly so that when you are deploying, they know, oh, today I'm supposed to leave my office for 10 minutes for them to come and fix something. I'm supposed to move this way. They are going to be coming into the office. So this is very important to planning. It makes you have a smooth deployment. The next group is supervisors and project managers. Some clients prefer there's one person that moderates and coordinates the project. They employ maybe a consultant or a project manager who supervises the work, who coordinates all service providers and the projects in general. It's important to engage this person, know the person's management style, know how the person wants to be updated, know how the person wants to be reported to. It's important to know because these people coordinate, and to have a smooth deployment, there needs to be a good handshake between you, the clients, and other contractors. And then the other group I'll talk about is co-contractors. You have to get full details. Now, there are times where, for example, I've planned or from my design, I'm supposed to now put those ceiling mount devices like a wireless access point or a speaker for a public address system. And another contractor is doing air conditioning, and there's an air conditioning where I have planned to put my device. To avoid all these issues, it is important to engage these people. In my opinion, you should even get their drawings, get their plan. Find a way to handshake your solution with this so that you don't end up encountering the example I just gave where somebody is running a pipe where you also plan to run a pipe. So this is for planning. Now for actual implementation, when you've planned, you've done your comprehensive plan, taking into consideration all the things I mentioned before, you come to implement. You now move to actual zooming into the deployment. Now you need to stick to your plan. You need to be disciplined. You need to note all the things you said you've done. You need to meet all your delivery timelines. You need to note your deliverables and make sure by the set timelines you met your deliverables. That makes things go smooth. Also, you need to adapt to the plan. So there are times where there are things out of your control. For instance, there's a chip shortage now globally, and equipment are taking dramatic long lead times. It's important to adapt your plan and still let the projects go on regardless of the delays. If your shipment is delayed or some material input is delayed, there are times where even payment from the customer delays the project. You still have to adapt your plan and look at how you can still make your projects go on or succeed despite the impediments in the plans. Also, adequately informing the stakeholders, the clients, the supervisor, and everybody involved, and even your suppliers is key because this boosts trust. Inform them about the good and the bad. If you are delaying, let them know, say, please, my project is going to take 2 more weeks, or 3 more weeks. Let them know if there's something better, if they can cut costs somewhere, inform them. This boosts trust. It makes whoever you're working for know you know what you're about, and it also makes them trust you. If even you inform them to change something during the project, they listen to you and go ahead. Now, I've always said it's tragic to deploy a solution and it will not be in use. There are times where we travel, we stay outside Accra for 3 weeks, a month, and it's tragic that you travel with your family and go and do work that nobody would use. It's important to ensure you take steps for whoever you are deploying for to be able to make full use and use the equipment to its full capability. And to ensure this, 3 ways are to train them. Let them know all the ins and outs, let them know all the features, let them know how it can be moved from A to B, let them know how it can be administered. And for security reasons too, for people not to misuse it, to get it damaged or cause problems for the institution, it's important to train. It's important to test, to fine tune. Yes, you followed your plan, you deploy, but you need to test it. There are call center solutions and other things that it's not going live. So you can't know if 6,000 calls are going to be queued properly by just testing with 2 calls. So it's important to run it live and then fine tune your solution after you deploy. Now handing over, this is where the people have been trained. At Seatec, we usually do manuals, we visit them, we pass by, we make sure the handover is smooth so that they, like I said, they can use it to its full potential and capability. Now, after these things have been deployed and the customer is happy, you've handed over, you've done all your work professionally like we do at Seatec. It's very important that you make sure you secure your gates. How can you make sure that the equipment or solution you are deploying can last and serve you at its full potential for a long time? Thank you.
So I must say that when the team was building the GIDC was set up with IT as a backbone. GIDC was set up such that our work here will be seamless. There wouldn't be too much of patient-doctor interaction or physical interaction. So yes, we know we have a dedicated fiber system for the place. We have a CCTV that it's in particular places. So yes, as the head of the facility, there are times I tell the staff, I can see what you are doing, or check on this patient in this particular room, just because I can monitor from my office. For the staff themselves, they are happy because we thought about how to reduce their risk. Critical care means being by your patient. But to tell somebody that be by a patient who is highly infectious means that be in the eye of the fire. But once you can take them out and let them monitor their patient remotely, it more or less improved the quality of care we gave to the patient. And then the staff felt that they were being thought about. And there was harmony and peace at work.
If you put the right technology in place, for example, during the COVID time, you make it easy for your people to work from home. It cuts down the operational cost. All of a sudden, you don't need that big office space. Your back office staff can work from home. Your front office staff move from their home to wherever they are going to sell, come back and send their reports. Invest in that technology. You take off all the office space, you save on electricity, you save on office space, you save on utilities. For a business, that is amazing. For the IT manager, you have that peace of mind if you invest in that technology. If you have the right settings on all your notes, you can get pre-alerts on every event that is happening on all your servers. You become proactive. So instead of being reactive, you solve the problems before they happen.
We worked with them in determining our specifications. They advised us in terms of the products, and they also facilitated the procurement and the actual delivery of the equipment in Ghana. They brought in a team to work with us to outline the implementation strategy or implementation plan. And then it was clear in terms of communication who we should communicate to if we had any challenges.
We do have a call center which has been very useful to us ever since we deployed the call center. We are able to reach our clients in real time. We are able to solicit information from our clients on how they feel about us. We are able to process insurance claims, which is the cornerstone and the bedrock of everything we do, through our call center operations. We are able to show gratitude to our clients through our call center operations. But most importantly, we are able to offer non-insurance benefits to our clients through our call center operations. Some of the non-insurance benefits are offering our clients an avenue to renew their driver's license, offering our clients home medical services, and all this thing has been made easy through our call center operations. And our call center operations runs on technology that gives us an opportunity to know who to call, to listen into calls, to be able to cut into calls from the supervisor's point so that extra information can be provided in real time.